Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this video we are going to make this fully responsive Next.Js modern portfolio website using Next.Js 13 and Tailwind CSS. So what we have here, in the first header section we have this cool looking animation with fully responsive navbar, and whenever you click on any of these you'll redirect to that section automatically. And also we first have our hero section, then we have a service section where we will showcase our services, and then we have our testimonials where we have added a new feature, like whenever you click on these clients the testimonial will change and the name of the client will also change here. So this is a very cool feature for our website, which is we are going to learn in this video. And lastly we have our footer here. Now let's start building our app. So to build a Next.Js app we need to run this command in our terminal. So let's just copy and paste it here. It will ask some questions like what would be our project name. It will be portfolio. We won't be using any TypeScript. Yes, we will use Tailwind CSS. No, enter. And all the Next.Js pages or files will be start installing here. You can see here we have pages, public, styles, all these things. So and we also have Tailwind config.js. We don't need to anything to here because the Tailwind is already configured. If you want to config by yourself, you just have to select the no button while creating this Next.Js app, and you can do the Tailwind config manually from the by reading the documentations of the Tailwind.css. Although it's same, so you might as well just say yes while creating the Next.Js app. So now let's see our app. We just go to the folder directory and type npm run tab. This will start our server at localhost 3000, and this is the first look of our Next.Js app. Of course we will change all these things. Now since the Tailwind config is already configured, yeah, we just make our Next.Js app. Now let's go to the pages. What is pages? So pages is just a Next.Js component where you list all your pages, and you don't need to set up any routes or anything else. It will automatically set up your route, and I'll just show you. Make a new file. Let's see, I want to make a product.jsx and IFCE. Let's see. So I made a new page called product, and if I go to the server and slash and write slash for product, sorry, not this one, it will automatically set up the routes, and you can see product here. So in Next.Js app you don't need to set up your route. You just need to add your page file in the pages section, and it will automatically set up your routes. Although in this tutorial we won't be using this feature because our portfolio will be of only one page. So we will make another folder in our portfolio called components. Well, let's check components. Yes, components. And in this folder we'll make another folder common, and again in component we'll make another folder utils. So we got two folder in component folder. So first thing which we are gonna make is the header file. So what is this? Why I'm getting this error? So if you are having the same problem, you can just go to the portfolio directory and reopen that folder. So that way error will go away. So now let's create the header section in our common folder header.js, and I'll use shortcut RAFCE. And now let's import it to the document. So index.js. Remove all these things. Also remove all these things and import header from there and see, if you save it, you won't be seeing anything here, but we are expected to see a header icon over here. So why is this happening? So the main reason is that you need to export. So you have to use capital H, not the small h, and here also they will use capital H, and that way you can see header icon over here. So don't do this type of small mistakes, because React or Next.Js only recognizes the names that starts from the capital letter. So we have header over here. Also let's go to the global.css and remove. Sorry about this thing. Now let's check if our Tailwind CSS is working or not. I'm going to take bg gray, and you just click control space to open all this Tailwind CSS. The CSS is working, that means our Tailwind CSS is working. I would recommend you to install some of the extensions like Tailwind. This Tailwind CSS is IntelliSense. I would recommend you to install this to be able to use Tailwind more effectively. Let's just close this. So now let's start making our header section. For that we will first use the section tag. We are making something like this. So we'll need a section, and inside that we'll need a div, and inside that div we'll have our logo, menu and other items. So first we'll have our logo. For that we'll make another div, and in logo I'm using two span. So span 1 will be our 2 slash, and span 2 in which code. For this menu we have to make another div, and inside middle left we'll have another list. Now look, you can't use link directly or you will get this error which I'm having over here, because link is a component provided by React and you can't use directly, so we have to import it. Link from next/link, and after that you can use it, but you have to give some props like href and then alt names, whatever you can give. And inside link we will write our menu. As you can see, we have three components here. One is the chevrons, left and right, and in center we have a text. So we will use three tags. For chevrons we have to install a dependency called React icons. So let me open a new terminal and you have to write here npm I react icons and install. This way we will able to use React icons from this website. It is a very good website. And search here for chevrons. We will be using these two icons. You can choose whatever from here. So let's first import it. For importing, just copy it and write import parenthesis paste and from React icons slash, you have to give a folder name like bi, capital Bi, so you write small bi, and this way you will be able to use it. If you don't use it, you will get an error. Let me show you. If I use it here, bi left chevron, right, like this, you will get an error. But if you specify the folder name, you won't be getting an error, and this is the chevron. In same way we are going to import right chevron and paste it over here. And between those chevrons we'll have a span in which we'll write our menu. So first it is services. Now all that left is to copy and paste it for 3 times more. Now we'll make another div for the last part of our header, but before that we'll have to import some more icons from the React icon. So let's go here and write Twitter and just copy it and paste it here. Import. You will copy all this code from my GitHub. And the last icon we're gonna import is hamburger. So import is from React icons /RH. Now since we have imported all this, let's make a new div for our header. So div dot end new, and this div will make another div which will have our icon and then a span to write our text. Similarly for GitHub, and lastly for hamburger we won't be using any div, just outside the div is fine. So now if we go to our browser, now all that is left to use CSS to make this beautiful. So let's start using Tailwind CSS to style our header. Before using Tailwind CSS, we go to the global.css and write these CSS. Apart from Tailwind CSS, this is the only CSS we are gonna use. Let's make a class here and give that class a flex item center and justify content between. We'll use 11 by 12 width of the total width and margin auto to make all this in the center. Let's make text white so we can see all. Now copy this CSS and paste in another list and same in and nav, and we'll get something like this. Now what we want is these three chevron, text and the last chevron to be in the same horizontal line. So to make this, we'll add another class name here and we'll use display inline, and same for this one. Let's give some space between these menus. For that we'll use another CSS called space X and we'll use 6 so that they will have some gaps between them. And in the link class name I'll use flex item center so that text and the chevrons will align itself. I'll copy it and paste it here, here and here so that all of them are aligned properly. I'll also give height of 20 to the header. Now after this, let's go to the end nav and in all this div add a class name and use flex property item center and copy and paste for 3 times. Not here, we want just like this, and you can also give a space between them 5. Yeah, that's better. And here we'll give a space X, horizontal spacing of 2. Same for this one. Here we'll give its font size 3XL and last name, and font weight will be medium. Before adding any more CSS, let's just configure our Tailwind CSS file. I'm going to paste some configuration here. You can copy it from my GitHub and save. Now let's continue adding some more CSS. First I'm going to add a font DM sans, and here I'm going to add position relative, and then in this section on the hover I'm going to change the text color to green and it will be ease in, and duration will be of 0.3 seconds. So if I hover over here, you can see it's changing. And also I'll add cursor pointer. Now let's go here and change this slash to and in text I'm going to add class name and opacity will be of 90. Opacity will be 90, and on hover it will change the color to green, and then it will be easy. Duration will be 300, and then hovering font will be medium. And copy this
over here, here, and here.
So if I go here, and you can see it's good. Now here class name opacity will be 60, and on hover opacity will be 100, and just copy it, paste over here. As you can see here, when I am hovering over it, then it's showing the chevrons, otherwise it's hidden, you can see. So for this we are going to use state React and use effect from React. Below header will write const service over set service over use state, and by default it will be false. And next line will define the mouse enter and mouse leave function. So handle mouse enter and set service over is equals to 2. Similarly, and now using these two functions we are going to have this type of animation. So let's go here and let's call our functions on mouse enter. We'll call our handle mouse enter, and on mouse leave we call our handle mouse leave. And when these two functions call, will change, oh no, sorry, not here. It will be here. So yeah, and when this happens, let's change this. And when this happens, we are going to use this function service forward, and if it's forward, then opacity will be 100, otherwise opacity will be 0. And now let's go check here if it's working or not. We are using link failed pub tag. Something is wrong here, I think. So what we are doing wrong here is we are passing an object rather than an. So now it is a function, and if I save it, you can see when I hover, it's showing. So let's give some animation. Easy duration would be 300, and copy it, pasting it over here, and now copy full class and paste here. So now you can see the animation. Let's also give text color of green, not equal to, and here as well text green. I'll copy this again and paste here, here, and we'll make 3 more use states for other 3 menus. So and here we'll make 3 more like this, 1 and 1. Set work, set work. It will be 2 set testimonial 2, and here we set testimonial. It will be 3 set contact, 3 set contact. And now copy this as well, paste over here, and 1 1 2 2 3 and 3. We also have to change this work forward, oh sorry, not forward, testimonial forward, contact forward, and I think that should do it. So this also, let's copy, paste, oh, looking nice. So we have completed our middle navbar and side as well. Now let's work on this. Now first let's work on our hamburger, for which we'll create another use state and we'll below 850 and set below 850. Your state by default it will be false. And now we will use effect to measure the width of our screen. So using use effect function, we can define a function handle screen size, resize, and in which we'll define our function here, set below 800 when window dot inner width is less than 850, and after that we'll add our event listener resize, and we'll call our function handle resize. And then when everything done, we'll return another thing in which we'll remove our listener resize, and we'll call again the same function handle resize. Now we'll add another class name, and in which below 850 is true, then it will have block display text to it. It will be its font size, otherwise it will have display hidden. So if we check, as you can see, after 850 or below 850, we can see it's appearing. Just like chevrons, we'll also add some use state like const Twitter, and here we'll just copy paste 2 more times. Here we'll make it 4 and change the function to set Twitter. Same here, and this would be 5. Set GitHub, set GitHub. And now let's go over here and copy it and paste here and here, and change it for 4 and 4. And when it is over, we can change something like here the text would be green. So set Twitter text green. So if I forward over here, you can see the animation. Let's do the same here as well. And class name, just copy it and paste it and change this to GitHub. And this should be cursor pointer. Where? Let's give our mail also some CSS, like it will have relative position, flex, no, not flex, edge. It would have a height of 40 pixels and item center, cursor pointer, justify center, and before will be absolute, and then we'll have before edge of 30 pixel, and I also give it a border radius of 50%, rounded 50, and background light gray. This all CSS, these two are my config CSS, which I have configured in my tailwind.config.js file. As you can see, I have added some colors and border radius 50. So if you look, this is something, and we need to have some. I'll have to give class name here. So I'll give z index of 10, text would be green, text color, and font size would be 2x. So yeah, you can see. Now you can see our header is almost ready. You can see these all cool looking animations. Now the only thing is left to do is to make this responsive. But to make header responsive, we'll add some more states here. So let's add a state called below 1050 pixels. Set below 1050. Use, and by default its value will be false. Similarly, const below 950 set below 950 and your state, and if by default value will be false. Now let's add it to the use effect function. So just copy it 3 times and change here 1050 950 divided by 105 and 95. And one more state I'll introduce is false, and I won't be adding this to here. I'll add it here, and when I click on it, then its value will change true or false. So it doesn't depend on the window size, so I'll not add it here. So let's first start with the end name. So all we have to do is remove first this one, this, and then start adding the CSS here. So if it is below 950, then space would be 5, otherwise nothing. I am doing this because I'll remove these text when it is below 950 pixel. So let's add it here, and I'll add here if it's below, so not if it's below 950 pixel, then display would be hidden, otherwise block. Even block, you have to choose block, and similarly do it here as well. So now if we go here and inspect it, let me refresh it. Something is going on here. No, it should be space x10. Yeah, but so now if I inspect it, if I am going below 950, as you can see, both text disappears and the spaces become less, as you can see. And if I go down more below, you can see our hamburger shows up. So let's continue on the logo section. Remove this one. So if it's below 1550 pixel, then width will be full and padding would be 2. Otherwise width would be this. I'll add another condition here. If is mobile is true, then background would be dark gray and width will be full. Otherwise by default whatever it is. And here also if window size is less than 850 pixels, then font size would be 2XL, otherwise 3XL. And here also add cursor pointer E0 and M0. We are done with the end name and the logo section. Now let's go to the middle name. Now first thing we gotta do is add some animations in the middle name class name. So is in duration will be 300 milliseconds. Font would be bottom mono, and if is mobile, condition is mobile, then empty would be margin top would be 44, position will be absolute, right would be 0, top would be make it custom top. You can do it by this way, minus 100 pixel, and background would be dark gray. We'll take full width and its Z index would be 40. And now I want to add another condition inside the is mobile condition. So you can do it by adding a colon, then small parenthesis right below 850, and if it's true, then margin top would be 5 minus 500 pixel, clear, minus 500 pixel, otherwise it takes default value. And this all will happen when we click on the hamburger menus. This condition only valid when is mobile is true. Right now by default its value is false, so it's not gonna change anything whether if even if you are going to change the bit size. So let's work on the unordered list. And here if the window size is below 850, then block, then display would be block text center and space y would be 6, and otherwise it will have flex item center justify between and space x 6. So just cut and copy here. I'll just show you what happens here. So if it's less than 850 pixels, then this happens. It's aligning vertically now. And last part is, now let's work on this hamburger menu. So in the RX hamburger menu, we'll add the on-click event where we call the function set mobile value to opposite the whatever it is now. And here also on click calling the function set mobile and changing its value to false. So let's see how it is going to work. So there is an error code. This should be empty. It's gone. So now if I click on this hamburger menu, whenever I click on it, it's working, and when I open it, it changes back to the same way. And when it is less than 850 pixel, we can again use this hamburger menu. And if we click on any of these, the menu will go away and will go to this section of our page. So our header component is ready. Next we're gonna work on the hero section. So hero section will be in the component section directory. So hero.jsx ifce and change capital hero. Let's also import this hero section to the index.js. So I'm going to import it here. Head hero, and I'm going to remove this header from here and put it in app.js. Import header, and then here cut, paste, and then here and this should all be in an empty tag. So a format document, and if I see here, you can see our header and hero section. So close this, save, close, and now we are going to work on the hero section. And now before writing anything in the fragments, I'm going to write some states. So const below 1300, set below 1300, used false. Similarly, const. You can copy all this code from my GitHub repository, so you don't have to write all these. Now I have written all the states. I'm going to define the use state function, and in that I'm going to define a function handle size, handle same as the previous one. You can copy from there. I'm going to copy from there. Just copy and paste it here and change this part. First set below 1300 when window dot inner width is less than 1300. All these things that we have defined will be useful in our responsive making. So apart from this, I'm also going to import some icons over here. So import Angular, and I'm going with, I think this one. Import from React icon /ri. Similarly, Node.js, logo Node.js, this one. Import also I'm going to import image from my public directory. So public /1.png, which is this one. And then I'm going to import another React component, or you can say next component is image from next image. And this is all that we have to import. So with all that done, let's start making our hero section. So first thing that our hero section will have is a section get, then a div of class name text element, in which all the text element will be there, and inside that we'll have another div in which first we have a paragraph, and outside that div we'll have another div of class name head, in which we'll have a paragraph and another paragraph which show me the code. Then we'll have another div of class name description, and this will also contain two paragraphs. So these two paragraphs will be there, and after that we'll have S3 tag, and then in that tag we'll have. So I'm writing this because when you build this app on Vercel or on anything, you're gonna get error if you use this tag element. So instead of using this, use this. Okay, we'll have div of class name experience, in which we'll have a div of class name year, in which we'll have a paragraph, another div of the name. We'll have another div of class name projects, then a paragraph tag 165, then a div, and now if you look the project, this is something you will see. I think there should be another div here, a div x and div here, and format it, and we are going to write outside this div. It will have a class name image elements, in which we'll have a div, in which we'll have another div of class name nothing. Then we have a span, in which we'll add our icon fa python, and in the same way we'll have another span image tag, and this, oh no, image tag, it should be self closing, and in this image tag, for now it will be empty. Then source, it will contain hero image, then alt. So now if I save it, you'll see something like this. Let give it a class name of w40. For now this will be the size, I'll change it later. Now let's start adding CSS over here. So in section we'll have class name, where we'll have display grid, and then if it's less than or below 1250 pixels, then we'll have display, we'll have grid call 1, and otherwise it will have grid call 2. And these are grid template columns, and I have set their values here. So you can see, if I am going to use grid call 1, then it will have 1 fr, and if I use grid call 2, then it would have 1.2 fr, 1 fr. Apart from this, we'll add grid call, will have width 10 by 12 and m auto. Also, if the width is below 1200, then we'll have width of 11 by 12, and if it's not, then we'll have width w10 by 12, and we'll have empty margin top will be 24, and font would be Roboto Mono. Coming to next element, we'll have display inline flex, and position would be relative. Then text would be white, and lastly we'll have flex column. Let me remove this class here. So it's looking like this. Let's continue adding CSS. So in next view we'll have a class name, then width would be 10 by 12, 1300, then its margin left would be 0, otherwise margin left would be 10. Now in the paragraph section, add a class name, and let's have background bg green, then padding of 1, and display would be inline block, so it won't cover the whole width, and we'll add a small border radius around that axle. It looks something like this. And the next section will add CSS leading 12. So what is it is doing that it will give a line height, and the line height would be around, you can see here, line height of 3.3 rem. And apart from this, it is below 1200, then margin top would be 4 and margin bottom would be 8, and text would be 4 XL. And if it is not below 1200, then margin top would be 12, margin bottom would be 12, and font size would be text 5 XL. And in the description, text would be base, so its font size is 1 rem, and opacity would be 60, and margin bottom is 10. So this is how looking it now. And in h3 tag we'll add a class name, and here we'll make all the letters capital, and text would be green. Also font size is text 3L, and we'll add an underline here and give it an offset of 4, and the window size is below 1200, then margin bottom would be 10, otherwise it will be 20. And in the experience section we'll add uppercase, and display would be flex, horizontal spacing would be 8, and then padding bottom is 7. We'll add display flex, item center, and in paragraph section we'll add a class name, and we'll add a margin height of 4, then if it's below 1200, then we'll make its font size 4XL, and if it doesn't, then its font size will be 5XL. Similarly, in div section we'll add a class name, and here we'll add opacity of 60 or 60 75, and then below 1200, then text would be SM, that means small or 0.8 RAM, and if it does not below 1200 pixel, then its font size would be text base. So if we go and check here, you can see, let's inspect and try to make window size small. You can see it's changing. In the project, we'll add display flex, item center, justify, between, and the paragraph section will add another class name of same, I think. So we'll just copy it from here, and paste here, and also and the paragraph tag will copy the CSS from here and then put it here, and then next we'll copy this CSS as well and copy and paste it here for I. And now let's go to the image element section. We'll make its position relative, and then in div section we'll add a class name. We'll make the display flex, justify, and item center. BG would be gradient primary, gradient 2, and position would be absolute, and then bottom 0. So this way our image will be at bottom like this. And in span we'll add another class name, give an absolute top 20, from right we'll give it 28, BG would be gray 3, and then shadow would be 3XL, its width would be W8, height would be 8 as well, and display would be flex, item center, justify center, and then we'll give a border radius of 50. So if I show you, you can see our Python logo here, class name here as well, and we'll give it a text 12 font size, and then color text blue, and you can see this is how it is gonna look. So let's give CSS to other icons as well. So I'll add our class name over here as well, give position absolute, from top I'll give 60, from right I'll give minus, so I'm adding here minus before right, so that's meant I'm giving it a negative, and width will be 24, height will be same as well, background will be gray, shadow will be 2XL, display flex, item center, justify center as well, and on border radius of 50, and in the icon the class name text 6XL, and color is green. Oh, this should be gray too. Yeah, looking nice. And now if I save it, you can see all our icons is in their place and looking awesome. So, and now if I inspect, which is already, and if I try to reduce the window size, you can see it's responsive. So below 1000 pixel we'll give another CSS to them. So for that I'll add a condition here. If the window size is not below 1000, then we'll show this whatever we have written so far. And if it's above, sorry, paste here, and if it's above and if it's below 1000 pixel, we'll show something different. We'll just copy this part from here and paste it here. And now let's minimize it, and we'll do some changes here for the width below 1000 pixels. So what we have to do here is we'll remove all the CSS from here, and we'll first make the display flex. Then flex direction will be column and column reverse, and then width would be 11 by 12, margin would be auto, and font would be a bottom mono. And the next section we'll remove this and this as well, not here, inside it. We'll remove this up to this part, and we'll make the position relative text white, which is already, but width 10 by 12, margin auto, then 600, then width would be 11 by 12, otherwise it will take the default value. In the next section we won't change anything here. In the head class name we'll remove this and add margin top of 4, margin bottom of 8, window size is below 600, then we'll change the font size to 3XL, otherwise font size would be 4XL. Let's make it 3.5XL. And here we'll remove this part, and I think everything is same. Yeah, everything should be same. And in the next section we'll change something here. So first let's make it like this, and then we'll add 11 by 12 width, M auto, then M top 7, padding 7, and if it's below 600, then it will take full width. The element will float to left space vertical or y will be 2, otherwise flex display would be flex space x would be 8. And in next tag we'll remove this part and just type text for Excel, and here will be same. Here as well we'll remove this part and text Excel. I think we'll should remove this one as well. Text sm text sm. And now to the image section. Image element will have margin top of 16 and margin bottom of 20, and here this, and we'll have a width of 8 by 12. Margin is auto, and in the next section we'll make it like this. And if we'll add a condition, if window size is below 600, then we'll hide the icons, otherwise they will show up at their respective position. So here, and we'll change it top 10 and right is 48. Similarly here, if it is below 600 pixel, then display hidden, otherwise paste and then change. You should say 16 and remove the negative sign. For Angular, another condition here, C, Control paste, hidden, and we'll remove this. Left is 28 and remove negative sign. And for the last part we'll just remove it. And here we'll change the width of the picture, which is 400 pixel. Now if you go here and if I start reducing the window size, you can see I think there is a problem but everything is working fine. So we'll just, where is the problem? I think I just have to remove this one and it should be fine. Yeah. So our hero section is ready and it is responsive as well. You can see here it's responsive as well. Our header section is working fine. So now let's work on the service section of our page. We are going to make another section called service section. So go to the components and make service.jsx RAFCE and service, and we are going to import it here. Here service, so you can see here it's written. And now in the service.jsx we are going to import some things here like use state, and also we are going to import a file name box from /utils/ we haven't made it yet, we are going to make it here .jsx RAFCE. So let's first make some states here. Const below 1075 set below 1075 use false, and then another below 790 set below 790 use false, and then here we'll use let to define a function, handle key size, which will call our two functions set below when the window size is below 1075 pixels and set below 79 when window size is less than 790 pixels, and then we'll add a event listener resize, and it will take function handle the size, and after doing all these things we'll return, in which we'll remove the event listener window dot remove listener resize and pass same function here. And now let's write our code here. So first thing we're gonna make is a section. Inside the section we're going to make a div of class name inner, and then we'll make another div of class name boxes, and inside that we will use map function to render all our boxes. So just leave it for now and make another div here of class name text. Inside that we'll write a paragraph. So this is the wireframe of our service section. this is looking something like this. Now in section I'll give it ID of services. So if I click on this, I'll redirect here. So and then let's give a class name, and let's give a padding top of 10, padding bottom of 10, and background is 3. In the div section we'll give margin bottom 20 with the window size, and let's remove this. The window size is below 790 pixels. Then we'll add margin top of 16. Otherwise we'll give a display of grid, and grid template column will be grid col 1, and margin top will be 32. And in the boxes section will give a space y4, space y4. And text will give text color white. Font is Roboto Mono, and MX Auto. Margin in horizontal is, and remove this one and this as well. And if the window size is below 1075, then we'll have width of 11 by 12, and if it's not, then width will be 10 by 12. And if the window is below 790 pixels, then we'll have width of 9 by 12, and margin top would be 10. Otherwise we'll take the default value. Same way in introduce, we'll add opacity of 60. In h1 tag we'll add CSS if below 1075, then font size is 3.5 pixel. Otherwise it will be 4 pixel. Similarly for this one as well. So I'm just going to copy it and paste over here. And also, apart from font size, I'll give margin bottom of 5, and here margin bottom of 7. And in the paragraph tag, add a class name, and CSS is italic. Opacity is 90, margin bottom will be 12, and line height is 1 below 1075. Then we'll have font size text base, otherwise text Excel. And then in the last we'll add the class name, and width will be 10 by 12. opacity will be 75, and if the window section is below 790, then height will be 300 pixels and width will be 11 by 12 overflow x auto, otherwise we'll take the default value. So if I go here, you can see our right side section is ready, and here we'll have the boxes. For that, let's make one box here, and let's start making the box. But before that, we'll add another thing here. I'm going to add a array of boxes in which I'll store some data. So I have added all the data here that we are going to use. So now let's go to the box and start writing. So the first thing we're gonna do is have a section, then a div of class name text, then h1 tag in which we'll write our headline, then a p paragraph section in which we'll have our description. So let's go and copy this, paste it here, and in the next paragraph we'll have a project. So let's go here and copy this as well, and outside this div we'll have another div of class name icon. In this we'll have our icons. So let's first import the icons over here. Let's go here and search for design and copy this icon, import from react icons /ai. Similarly, search for code, select this one, from react icons /vi. Then last, import for this we are going to use this one, from react icons /ti outline. Then here, and last. So if we go here and see, you can see here. Now let's start styling it. So in the section, let's give a class name and display of flex, justify between item baseline and then cursor pointer. And if the window size is below 975 pixels, then width would be 11 by 12, otherwise width will be 10 by 12, and window size is below 790 pixels, then window size will be 9 by 12, otherwise it will take the default value. and we'll also write margin auto, text white is in, and duration is 300 milliseconds. Oh, we haven't defined this here yet, so let's define it here. Const, and here as well 975, and now we can see our box. So let's continue adding style to it. So in h1 tag we'll add a class name, and text is 3xl, then is in duration is 300 milliseconds, and if it is hovered, then text is green. We'll add another use state here, is hovered. Let me just copy it from here, hovered, and set hovered is equals to use false. And after that I'll define two functions here, and I'm just going to copy functions from the header section, these two functions here, box, and paste it here, and then set hovered, it's not working. Why? It's not working because I haven't added on mouse enter and on mouse leave event listener here. So on mouse enter I'll call handle mouse enter, and on mouse leave I'll call handle mouse leave. So if I go here and hover over it, you can see the color is changing. Similarly, I'm going to do same here as well. Class name and text base is in, duration is 300 milliseconds, and then if it's hovered, then we'll add an underline here, and underline offset will be 2, and otherwise it will take the default values. And also in this paragraph we'll add a class name, and opacity will be 70, and margin top is 2, and margin bottom is 5. We actually need one here, so just remove other two and give a class name here, and give CSS of font 2xl is in, duration of 300 milliseconds, and if it's hovered, then change its text color to green, otherwise leave the default values. So if I go here and hover over it, you can see it's changing. One thing I forgot to add is, if it is hovered, then change the shadow, I mean the box shadow to 4 XL. Otherwise take the default values, and padding 8, font should be the water mono, and background is background, and the border radius is rounded XL. So now it's looking good. So if I hovering over it, you can see the animation and these two changing their colors. Now what is left to do is mapping these box over this data and display over here. So let's do it. So first we're gonna use the map function here. Boxes dot map box and index. It will take 2 values, and don't use curly braces here, use the small braces. This is the syntax, don't forget. And box will give key is equals to index, headline is equals to headline, box dot headline, and description is equals to box dot description, and project is equals to box dot project, and that's it. So these are the 4 values we are passing in the box, and in the box.jsx we are going to use all these props. So first is headline, then description, and then project, and here we'll remove design and write headline. Here also we'll remove this and write description. Here we'll remove this and write projects. And now if I save it, you can see all 3 boxes here. But one thing you can notice here that the icons haven't changed. So for that I'm going to add one more condition here, that if headline is equals to design, show this. So cut and paste it here, and now if I save it, you can see we got only one icon here because other 2 icons doesn't satisfy this condition. So now I'm going to do the same step 2 more times, and here I'm going to change it PI, and also I'm going to change it here, and text is 3XL. That's the only change. And design, and now if I save it, you can see all the icons have changed, and on hovering they are showing cool animations. And now let's check the responsiveness. We start reducing the size, you can see that it's responsive, and after 790 pixels it changes its display from grid to flex. and again it's responsive. You can see I have fixed the width and height of this component, so it's sliding. You can see here. It's fully responsive. So our service section is also ready. Let's work on the work section. For that we are going to make another file here, work.jsx in rafcd, and now import it here. Let's first import some stuffs. Import right image 1 from / public / 2.png. Similarly, import right2 from .public / 4.png, and another import left image from /public / 3.png, and also import, and let's define some states here. So for that I'm going here and copy this and paste here and change it. Right section, not this way section, and then give this section of id work. Okay. Const below use state for, oh, I haven't imported, so here import, I have to use s here, and then let's add a line hr, give a class name, and give a class name text green and opacity of 10, and now write the div of class name, write an inner, then another div, and then one more div. Inside that div we'll have a h1 tag. Now outside that div we'll have div again of class name image, and here we'll give src left image. Let's also give alt, and then not class name w40 temporarily, and outside that div we'll have another div of class name text2. This is class name text1. Okay, so here we'll have a h1 tag, and outside this div we'll have another div with class name left, and this is right. So here we'll have two divs, div 1 and let's copy it. Give a src of right image 1 and src right image 2. Let's save it and look at images are big, very big. src then left image. Yeah, so we got all our images and yeah, everything is done. Now the rest is to give the CSS here. So let's give this section a class name and give a background of bg gray 3, and here remove this tag and 850, it's just below 850, sorry. Then do nothing, otherwise display should be grid and display grid template column is 1 margin auto, padding top is 10, padding bottom is 10, text white, and font is robot mono, and if below 1200 pixels then width is 11 by 12, otherwise it's 10 by 12. Now you can see they have been aligned, and now I'm going to style this one. So in left if the window size is below 850, then display will be flex and flex direction will be column, and justify center then item center, and otherwise display is grid will have grid row 3. So by doing this they will align themselves by this way. And in the text 1 class name, if the window size is below 850, then we'll have a width 8 by 12, otherwise we'll have default value. And we also have margin auto, and in the h1 tag we'll have a class name margin bottom 2, window size is lower than 450, then text 3xl 3.5xl, Excel. Otherwise it will be text for Excel. Now for the class name in paragraph, we'll have opacity of 70. In the image section here, if the window size is below 850, then margin top will be 10, otherwise it will take the default value. In the image class name, we already remove this one. We'll have a border radius of rounded to XL, and we'll also have a shadow of 4XL. Window size is below 1200, then width would be 350 pixel. Otherwise it will have width of 450 pixel. And is below 450 pixels, then width will be 80, otherwise it will have default value. And in the text 2 section here, let me remove this. We'll have margin auto. The window size is below 850, then W8 would be 8 by 12, MT 10, and MB 14. And otherwise we'll have weight of 9 by 12, MT 20. So now if we save and go here, they are looking good now, but let me add more CSS here. So here margin bottom 5, lower than 450, then text is 3XL, otherwise it will be text 3.5XL. In the paragraph tag, we'll have another class name and then text Excel, margin bottom 10, opacity is 60, and in last we'll have a class name of text green, underline and underline offset of 2. Now if we go and see here, this is how it's looking. Nice. Now let's work on the right side. So for the right side, let's have a grid display, grid row 2, and gap is 20. And in the first we'll have display flex. First add the class name, display flex, justify center, and in the image tag we'll we'll add a class name, and we'll give a border radius of 2 pixel, shadow 4 pixel, aspect auto, window size is below 1200, then we'll give width of 350 pixel, otherwise width of 450 pixel. And if the window size is below 450 pixels, then we'll give, and if the window size is below 450 pixels, then we'll give width of 80, otherwise default value. So now just copy this and paste it here, and copy this one and paste over here. So now if I save it and go here, you can see our work section. I think there should be $500. It should be 500. Yeah, it's looking good. So if I inspect it now, and now start reducing, see, it's not working the way I wanted. Oh, here, this has to be in between these brackets, so now it should work fine. Yeah, it's working fine. So when I shrink it, it goes like this, and this, and this, and it is completely responsive. So our work section is also ready. Now we have to work on the testimonial section, which is this. We'll have this amazing feature, like changing the testimonial whenever we click on the client. It changes name also, like this. So let's make another file here, Testimonials.jsx RAFCE, and import it here. Testimonials. Now close it, close this one, this one, this one, this one as well. Import icon here, which will be this one. So from React icons, not this React icon /vs. Also I'm going to import a file over here from utils/client. I'm going to make this here client.jsx RAFCE. I'll make it later. And also I'm going to add some data over here. So So this is the data that will be passed in the client. After that, let's import useState, and then let's make some states over here. Const selected client. So this is set selected client. Use false. So this state is for this feature. So whenever I'm selecting this one, the testimonial is changing. So to change this, we are using this useState, and other than that, we are going to simply add some states for make our page responsive. So this is all the states for making our page responsive, and this is the uses effect, and here set selected client, and this is the function. On whenever you click on any of these, the testimonial changes. For that, we have created a function over here which will change this. It should be, I think, 0. So whenever you click, the index change, and based on the index we render the testimonial over here. So I'll explain in detail later. Let's start making our testimonial. I'll give this section ID of testimonials. Inside section we'll have a div, and inside that div we'll have a h1 tag testimonials, and then we'll have a paragraph tag. And now outside this div we'll make another div of class name testimonial box, and then inside that div we'll have another div of, and then a paragraph tag. So here we'll add the client name. So I'm just going to add one of this here, and then after paragraph tag we'll add icon. We'll add the quote icon, self close, and after that we'll add another paragraph tag in which we'll have the client testimonial. So just copy this and paste it here, and in the next line we'll have another quote, and after that outside this div I'll have a div of class name clients. So this is where we are going to render this client page. So here I'm going to just import the client. So let's see how it is looking for now. This is how it is looking right now. Now let's start styling it. So add a class name over here, and this class name will have margin auto and margin border of 20. The window size is below 1225 pixels, and then we'll have width 10 by 12 and margin top 20, Otherwise we'll have width of 8 by 12 and margin top 32. Similarly in the div, and here in div we'll add a class name, and this div will have text white and font will be robot mono font family. Margin bottom is 20 and window size is below 1225 pixels. Then we'll have width 10 by 12 or we'll have 8 by 12. $8.50. Then we'll do nothing. Otherwise we'll make the display flex, justify between, and item would be at baseline. So this is how it would look like. Now for the testimonials, we'll add a class name over here and margin bottom would be 2, window size is below 850. Then we'll have a font size of 3.5. Otherwise we'll have a font size of 4 pixel. Similarly for the paragraph, we'll have a class name and we'll add up opacity of 70. Now in the testimonial box, we'll make the position relative, then text white and font will be Roboto Mono and BG. Background would be gray 3 and padding in vertical direction will be 10. And now in inner view we'll add a class name and then margin auto. It is below 630 pixels. Then width would be 10 by 12. Otherwise width would be 8 by 12. And the paragraph tag opacity is 75 and text is small. Margin bottom is 5, italic, and in the second we'll add a class name and add just margin bottom 5. And for the quotes, we'll add a class name here in which we'll make the position absolute, and then we'll set the position from right 10, from top 6, opacity will be 60 and font size would be 6 pixel, and we'll rotate it 180 degree. And in this paragraph we'll add a class name where opacity is 80, and for this tag we'll just copy it and paste over here and rotate 180, transform minus scale x 100, window size is below 1250 pixel, 1225 pixels, then make top 56, otherwise make top 48, and if window size is below 850, then make top 8 top 80, otherwise make top, otherwise leave it default value. And if window size is below 630, then display would be hidden, and otherwise set the default value. And here copy this one and paste here as well. Oh, this should be here, man. It should be here. And now copy this one and paste here. So you can see our page looking nice, and if I reduce the size, you can see it's responsive. So let's remove this. Add class name, add text white 850, then display would be theme grid, and grid call 1, and gap would be 6. Otherwise we'll have a display flex, justify between, and item center. And if the window size is 360, 630, then we'll have display grid, and grid template column would be 0, and gap is 6, and otherwise set the default values. So first let's import use from next image, and here we'll write some states const selected, and now we'll for now let's just comment it down so we won't get any error. Now let's define a function when we click one of these clients. Okay, so const and click and set selected client, and will give us the whatever it is having value right now, and on click index, and now let's use effect. I'm just going to copy this from here, they all should be below. And that should do it. So we are ready with the states and our function. So now I'm going to write the JSX. So here let's make a div. Here. We'll add a class name. Font DM sans flex, display flex, item center, justify between, margin top 10, padding right 10, padding vertical 2, transition, duration with 500. It will be easy out, and if 50 pixels, then width will be full, backbox shadow will be 5 XL, padding is 3, border radius is XL, otherwise we'll have width of 2/6, and window size is below 630. Then we'll have width 10/12, shadow of 5 XL, padding of 3, border radius of XL, and otherwise we'll have default value. Now inside div we'll have another div in which image, let's give some props here. src I'll give client, then index +1 dot jpg, and then alt will be name, and then class name I'll have width, border radius 50, and object cover. And outside that div will have details, so div.details, which will contain name, so name, then span, this will contain position, and another span which will contain id name, and give this a class name of text green, and margin left 2. And here it's below 1000, then text is small, otherwise it will take the default value. And now here we'll pass some props like index on and testimonial, and now uncomment this. And also here we'll define our on click function on this will handle the handle click function, Now if you go here, you get the error here because we haven't passes the testimonial using the map function. So let's use the map function here. So testimonial dot map testimonials index, then use function client, and the client will give key would be equal to testimonial dot id name, and then index will be index, and testimonial will be testimonial, and on will be handle click client function, and then we close this one. And also let's give this like this way: testimonials selected client dot name, and here as well we'll give testimonials selected client dot description. So now if I save it, you can see actually I think this should be, and now the reason we are not able to see the clients here because I'm using here curly braces, but we have to use this small parenthesis here. So don't forget to use this one, don't use the curly braces, otherwise you won't be able to see it. Seems we have a problem here. Client 1.jpg is missing required width. Actually we also have to give the width, so width will be 100 and height will be 100. So now if we go here, we can see our clients, and right now it is Logan Paul. If I click here, on click index, I think I made some mistake here. On click, I think this should be small c. So if I click, it's not changing. What is problem here? So I think there is, so we have to change this to cap. And now if I click on the Elisa, now you can see our testimonial change. Now if you click on the Salman, you can see it changed again: Logan Paul, Elisa, Salman. So our testimonial section is also ready and it's working very fine. Now let's also check the responsiveness. So our page is fully responsive, you can see. This is going a little bit outside the box. You can change it on your own. I'm not changing. I think this is fine. So our testimonials section is also ready. Now all that is left is the footer section. So we'll go and make a footer file in the common folder footer.jsx and rafc, and we are going to import here icons here. So first I'm going to the header, and from here I'm going to import these two icons, and then to the React icons I'm going to YouTube this one, port from react icons / yes, and also a code pen icon, code pen gr, this one, import from react icons gr. And now we will simply write the JXX here section, give a ID of contact and class name pg gray 3 and font will be game sans. Now inside section we'll have a div of, we'll have another div which will contain h1 tag. Outside that div we'll have a div which will contain all the icons, and after that outside that div we'll have a paragraph in which, now let's start styling it. We'll add a class name here with text white, and display will be flex column, and item center, and padding in vertical will be 16, and for the inner div we'll have a class name and width will be 36 and h will be 12, border flex item center, then justify center, and margin vertical is 8. On hover we'll change the border to green color, and then cursor is pointer. Now for the h1 tag we'll give a class name and set the font size to 2 pixels, and for this div we'll have a class name in which we'll add display flex space x will be 10, and then text font size will be 3 pixels and margin bottom is 8. And for the icons we'll have a class name here, cursor pointer, and margin of 2. On hover we will give a text color green, and this will have a animation easing, duration will be of 300 milliseconds. Now just copy this one and paste over here, here and here. And now for this paragraph tag will give a class name tracking wider, and text center. And if we go here, so this is how our footer will look like. So if I click on it, color is changing, and if I reduce the window size, you can say it's responsive as well. So this is our complete portfolio of web application with full responsiveness. Everything is working. So guys, this was the full portfolio app made with Next.Js 13.